Good afternoon from Sheffield. Steve Davis and John Parrott and I and many others have been enjoying the opening day of this year's 2019 Betfred World Snooker Championship. We're off and running. In fact, we've been on the go since 10 o'clock this morning. But this afternoon, we've been treated to a real demonstration, a real exhibition performance so far from one of the red-hot favourites for the title this year, Australia's Neil Robertson, who's doing a bit of a demolition job right now against a Crucible debutant, Michael Georgiou, making history today as the first player to represent Cyprus to play at the Crucible, but it's been a real baptism of fire so far. He is 5-0 down against this man. Alan McManus, John Virgo, watching a supremely efficient performance so far from the Aussie. Hello again, guys.
Yes, hi Hazel. It's been not absolute vintage from Robbo, but it's been comfortably good enough to have earned this 5-0 advantage, and the match, it looks like, is beginning to slip away. Yeah, so far Michael Georgiou has done nothing of note. Highest break at 12. He's had the odd chance here and there, nothing concrete, but he just hasn't been able to put anything together.
14.
And Neil Robertson has been in no mood to forgive.
15.
And we'll just show you how Neil Robertson got in. He potted a tremendous red, rolled up behind the brown, trying to play the two-cushion escape with pace, and misjudged it completely. And there you see, oh my gosh.
22.
I say it's not been absolute vintage
29.
from Neil, but frame 2, he had a nice 100 break, and the last couple of frames is 96 and 68 and 30 and counting this frame.
Yeah, you might have detected a big sigh from Neil there, because that was a little bit careless what he did. He shouldn't have left himself straight on this blue. And that's the one thing that you'd expect him to be aware of. Now he's in such a strong position, he doesn't want to take his eye off the ball and get complacent. As I say, it was careless to leave himself straight on the blue. But he's back in prime position now.
$42. 43. 49. 50. 56.
Once again, a little bit careless, you see. Just never take anything for granted at this game. He's asking the referee to... He thought, by playing it that way, he'd held the pink spot. I think the brown spot is available, but it looks to be plenty of room there. Awkward queuing now, though. He's just looking for red colour red.
$57.
Well, he played that well. That wasn't as easy as it looked, having to put or hit the cue ball on the left-hand side as he did. Made the pot missable. But now it's just a question of whether he's going to make another century. Only the red
64.
required.
65. $72.
Yeah, all the high-valued colours there.
73.
Blue, pink, black. That's all he had to concentrate on. But the way the balls were split by Michael when he made that misjudgment, like you'd set him up for a practice session.
$80. $81.
Yeah, he's already had 1 century this afternoon in frame
87.
2. Will this be number 80 for the season? It looks
88.
a mere formality now that he's just promoted that last of the reds. This would be the 4th of this year's championship. Of course, it's early days.
94. 95.
Yes, it just becomes inevitable, you feel.
100.
A player at the top of his game,
102.
in amongst the balls as he was left. You didn't fancy him missing.
105. 109. 114. 120.
Oh, the black stays out, but a sparkling 1-1-4 from Neil Robertson. And he quickly moves into a dominant 6-0 lead.
It's dominant, all right, as Alan was saying. That's his 80th ton of this season, comfortably ahead of everybody else. Judd Trump second on that list with 69 centuries so far, and who's to say he won't make a few in the coming days. But it's really emphatic stuff, but you do have to feel for Michael Georgiou out there, because this is really uncomfortable from his point of view now. Well, okay, I say that, but I'm a bit of a wuss when these things happen. You are assassins.
Well, no, it's the job. That's part of your job. You have to take it, and if it's not going, you can dig yourself out of trouble, or the other guy just puts you to sleep, and that's the end of the day, and you have to come back and pick yourself up. So we don't necessarily feel sorry in the same way. We know what it's like. We do know it's horrible.
But you've been on the end of it as well.
Oh,
too.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We've been on the end of it, and there's nothing worse. But, you know, when you're a competitor and you're a competitive animal, your job is to get in the next round.
Yeah.
And if your opponent isn't doing his stuff, that's not your consideration. You've done all your practice, your preparation, you're there to win. You know, I mean, with respect, I mean, at the moment, he's just not playing. And Neil Robertson is at the top of his game, and he's not getting punished. I mean, I'd be the world champion boxer if nobody hit me back. But that's exactly what's happening here. He's just not getting hit by anything. As soon as if he makes a mistake, he's back at the table. I mean, Michael's got a high break of 12. That's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Concentration from Neil Robertson's point of view. The guys were talking about a practice session vibe about this now, but you've got to keep your professionalism going and trying to put the pedal to the metal.
You have, yeah, you just got to be relentless, and that's what Neil Robertson does. And the fact he makes so many century breaks, and he's made the most century breaks, shows a level of relentlessness that he's prepared to want to pot every ball until it's and that's how you make loads of century breaks as well, same as Stephen Hendry. But from my perspective, Michael Georgiou just got to somehow work out the puzzle of the day as to how to get himself out of this massive hole now to even show some respectability or take away the embarrassment. The trouble is, every now and again, you come up against a player and you think, why me? Why did Neil Robertson have to play like a dream? Why couldn't he have just stumbled a bit?
Yeah.
And therefore, you mustn't feel sorry for yourself, but that can sometimes be the case.
In some respects, he can loosen up now. He's 6-0, the match is over. He's not going to win. The way Robertson's playing, the match is over. So just try and be yourself. Try and go and play and show people what you can do. The match, for all intents and purposes, this match is over 6-0 down at Robertson. So just go and try and play and make something of those chances. But at the moment, he doesn't even look like he's going to make anything.
Well, John, you know this. You're the man who inflicted the crucible whitewash in the first round, Eddie Charlton, all these years ago, 10-0. You know what it's like.
Yeah, and I can remember playing in the last frame as 9-0 up, and there was people on the front row tutting at me because they were going, you know, oh, let him win a frame. And no, you're not there to let people win frame. You're there to get the job done, keep the petrol in the tank and get in the next round.
6-0 and counting. What can Michael do?
Well, he can't manage to knock in that tough long red, it has to be said. But yeah, it's really getting... not embarrassing, it's just getting, the match is getting beyond him now. 6-0 down. He's got a sum total of 35 points only in the first 6 frames. Highest break of 12. Yeah, you don't want to talk whitewashes and all these nasty things that can happen to players out there, but you just would like to see him get a frame on the board quickly. It's such a difficult place to play against a top player in top form. Yeah, he can be forgiven for sitting there thinking, what's a nice boy like me doing in a nasty place like this? You just got to keep trying, keep punching away. You just never ever know in this game.
Yeah, but as you say, he's got to get a frame on the board quickly. I mean, I was saying during the last frame that I think he needs to win 3 after the mid-session innings over the 5 that was going to be played, and he's still got nothing to show for his efforts. And if this bounces, this could be tight up behind the brown. It's never been any different, has it? When you're playing well and you don't need the run, you get it.
Yeah, the snooker gods just seem to dictate from time to time. Just a water bottle dropping there. Thankfully not when Michael was down the shot. There's not a lot of room back there. All's well.
Yeah, just run past it, so he's left the red on. There are other reds that go to the opposite corner, but you just feel with those he's going to be running into another ball, so it may affect the position. Can he pot this and miss the kiss on the second red? No, he couldn't.
Well,
But I suppose he'll settle for that. He's got the pink to the middle. There's the scene, the two table, and just that. The wall between the. Oh, he's not hit it hard enough, has he? Well.
Here, Robertson 1.
Unforgivable to under-hit it. Now, Michael, here's a chance. And it's coming up to 30 minutes since he last potted a ball. But when you haven't got a frame on the board, you feel as though it's 3 hours since you potted one. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, don't tell me he's not on the pink. He's just on it.
Yeah, I can't quite tell from here, but he'll be hoping that the pink spot's covered. Pink spot's covered, this could be a decent chance. He obviously had to just bend that just a touch because he played it. Well, the pink does go on its spot. Just had to bend that slightly there on the left-hand side, just checking the cue ball. It's just the way, isn't it? Every time you're struggling, everything seems to be awkward and the pink gets tied up. Good shot. That was better.
8.
I think the pink will go to the right corner pocket. There it does go. You'd like to have been on the red that's above the pink, straight to the right middle. Could have potted that and been nicely on the pink. A little bit of work to do with the cue ball now. You couldn't risk playing for the pink here. You've got to play for the blue or bought colour.
13.
Straighter would have been better.
One. 18.
Just needed another roll. Anyway, he can roll it and needs to leave himself straight on this red to the left corner. Straight enough, just stun it in.
24.
Leave the cue ball where the red is. He'd be nicely on the pink.
25.
And getting that red out of the way also now makes the pink available into the left middle. So it's a good chance. And it's a must-take one.
$31. $32.
Yeah, that was just a bit twitchy. Didn't deliver the cue properly. Just about hold for this red then. But the pink's not an absolute certainty. See, a bit of angle on it. Well played. Good shot. Good recovery.
$38.
Now, can he play a little soft cannon, or does he got to go deep and with some power? Yeah, good shot. Again, just
39.
not ideal. This is nasty, isn't it, this pink? Whew. This is very nasty indeed. Yeah, you just couldn't fancy him for that. You just had a feeling that was just beyond him.
Michael Georgiou, 39.
You know, with the state of the match, and he's not had anything to go at. He's just left the door ajar here for Neil Robertson to make the potential counter-attack.
So he's in his seat, 38-point lead, but it'd be a tough ask for Neil Robertson to win the frame at this visit. Particularly those two reds to the left of the black near the top cushion. I'm not certain about the availability of those two, so as I say, he'll do very well to win it this time around. Ooh, where's this cue ball going?
7.
And it has been noticeable, and the last couple of frames, just one or two careless little shots. I mean, in this frame, he's played the pink in the middle and left it short. And this is what can happen when you build up what is an unassailable lead, or you feel it is, that you can just get too relaxed.
Robertson, 7.
Good escape, but he'll be disappointed to only have got 7 from that chance. Well, maybe the blue has come to his rescue for the red to the corner, but I think he can see enough of the one just below the pink. That was a poor shot. That cue ball should have been tight to the baulk cushion. Something like that.
Yeah, he wants to take the red on, but if he misses it any way thick, he's guaranteed to catch the two reds together, so looking for an alternative. Won't mind missing this altogether. Yeah, well played. Good shot. Not got Neil Robertson under any massive pressure, but at least he's got, you know, 3 or 4 reds in safe positions. And a well, more than handy 31-point advantage.
Two. Good pot. I suppose you'd like that other red to have stayed on the table, but There you go. As Alan remarked, there's a lot of reds near the cushion, so big ask to win the frame at this visit.
Eight. Nine.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be harbouring
15.
too many aspirations of winning the frame at this visit, but he would dearly love to get to just one red left and just gain the upper hand. A little safety exchange. He's just overcooks that one. He's gotten away with it.
Neil Robertson, 15.
Yeah, here it is again. Just took his eye off the pot. I think he was trying to catch the black half ball on the way back, wasn't he? Just get the cue ball out of there. But crucially, it's only 16 the lead now, which obviously means Michael needs all three reds.
Once again, a little bit fortunate. I think he played the pot there. A double kiss. Could have left this red on. That looks a better safety. But I think he can just get past the brown to play the red that's on the right-hand side of the table as we look. And in effect, that will bring all the reds into open play.
Yes, an outside chance of a cross double. He'll probably get it thin, he has done. Needs a cue ball to pull up. And it hasn't, so a half chance, but how does he get the cue ball back to the safety zone? I don't think he can, playing the red near the pink. Just obviously desperate to get a frame on the board. Remember the pink he went for, but I think he's playing the right shot here. Just hang off. Push this red safe.
Yeah, and that could be a telling safety. Neil seeing whether he could play the red that's just up into the left of the pink and play the pot and miss the camera on the pink. It doesn't look on. Played it with pace to widen the angle. Now where's the red going to finish? Where's the cue ball? It's running after it. Wow, don't tell me that red won't pass the blue. It must be very tight. So a couple of times Neil Robertson been a little bit fortunate in this frame. he can get through to this red, but it's not easy, particularly if it's just off the cushion, which it appears to be. Yeah, it's just off the cushion. Going to be slightly hampered by the brown. He's thinking he could play for the black, and if he plays it slow, then he gives more chance for the red to drop, but if he plays it slow and misses it, it could cost him the frame. So he decided to play it firm, but that made the pot more difficult, and once again, it has to be said, he's been fortunate. Yep, now Michael trying to screw in behind the black here. Couldn't have played it better, good shot. Favourite for this frame now. This match has been going now just over 2 hours. And at the moment, Michael Georgiou, nothing to show for his efforts. That was a good hit from Neil. And the fact that Michael is going to be hampered by the black, it's not that easy to play a telling safety.
Yeah, it's hard to know whether he can get enough right-hand side on this to try and get below the black. Yeah, he could. Just didn't quite get through the cue ball. Wasn't easy. He's been a wee bit unfortunate there because this is a kind of natural half-ball safety shot for Neil. We get the cue ball somewhere close to the black. Not quite got the snooker, but he's asked the question of his opponent. This is a tough safety shot now. It's one of those ones you can sometimes you say, you know, err on the thin side, but if you miss it, the red by the blue spot might be on to the far corner. This is tough. Oh, he's played it well. Played it very well. Good shot.
Yeah, a little tap on the table there from Neil. In appreciation, that was a excellent judge safety. Looking round at all options, of course. Wouldn't surprise you if he took the pot on red in the middle of the table. If he had the right angle to stun over to the side cushion, but that was probably asking too much. Well, he's left a chance. The only thing is, it's going to be awkward queuing. That black is just about where he normally put his hand. Nearly fluked it, but I think this red will cut to the right middle, and the one just to the right of the green is obviously potable, but this one does cut, and if he lands on a colour, we may have a new favourite.
One.
Not on a colour.
Brown ball. Neil Robertson 1.
Well, the escape's there, but he's shifting the brown. If this red goes in, we definitely do have a new favourite. This is a big shot now of the frame. How committed is he going to be in terms of position, in terms of leaving that other red? Full-blooded. Oh, and it's home.
One.
Brilliant shot.
Yeah, he made the pot more difficult by playing the stun. Couldn't have played it better. Quick look at the scoreboard. 14 points of difference. He's trying to work out how he can get there without needing the black. Well, it won't take a lot of working out. He won't need the black.
Sure.
Just 9 points behind now.
6.
He'll have to play the green. I don't, well, unless he's got the angle on the blue, but I'm not certain he has. If he's got a slight angle, he'll play the blue. If not, you'll have to play the green, but same applies. He won't need the black.
Yeah, I think the fact to get on the green there actually has done him a favour. Where the green is now, access from green to brown is pretty straightforward.
10.
Doesn't need to be straight or low on this side of the green. He can be
12.
Anything around straight and he's perfect, which that is. So, as JV said, up to and including the pink. And it'll be 7-0.
$15. $19.
Just overdone it. So he's going to have to do a bit of work with the cue ball to get close to the pink, or he might just roll it in and leave himself a mid-distance pink. Played it with pace. Oh, and this looks like absolutely perfect.
24.
And the pink is all that's required. In it goes. Well, Michael Georgiou had a few chances there. Okay, Neil Robertson had a good run of the ball at times, but Michael will be absolutely distraught. Neil Robertson leads 7-0.
Well, it looks great for Neil Robertson, but I think we would all agree with you, John, he must be feeling sick, Michael Georgiou, after that, because so far 73 points in total scored by the Cypriot in that match. Now, on the other side of the Crucible Theatre, we've been enjoying the match between Ding Junhui of China and Anthony McGill of Glasgow. Ding was 3-1 up. McGill 71 points to 12 in front here. Missed that red, however. And Ding in frame 5, well, he pounces to pot the last couple, pink and then black. And that's a break of 64 in the making here for the man who's won 13 world ranking titles and just needs the world title for a career Grand Slam. And he takes a 4-1 lead in this match. Shades, you have to say, of the second round match between these two last year. in which it was Ding who absolutely romped home 13 frames to 4 in the second round. Different situations here, but let's get back to the match we've been enjoying. Maybe not Michael Georgiou enjoying it at the moment, but even when Neil Robertson was asked a question finally by Georgiou, he had all the answers.
Yeah, and even little things that happen when you're behind the 8-ball like Michael is. He comes out of the snooker. Yes, he just flicks the red, then he flicks the brown away from the yellow, so the clearance becomes more available for Neil. Things like that happen when it's not going your way. You're probably gonna. I know it's difficult when you're in that score, but he shouldn't have took the pink in the middle pocket. When he got to 39, that was a horrible shot to take in the middle. But it's difficult when you're 6-0 down to pull your horns in and think, you know, that's not really the right shot. He played the wrong shot there. So unfortunately, that's the way it's going.
And it has us kind of leafing through the Crucible Almanac, fun for all the family and light reading for everybody. A wonderful piece of work, by the way. But we do notice that the fewest points scored in round 1 over all of the years going back into the late 70s. 191 points scored by Danny Fowler when he was beaten 10-1 in the opening round by a certain Stephen Hendry. And unfortunately for Michael, we're kind of in that territory at the moment, unless he can really find something in these last few frames.
Yeah, you know, when you're on the back foot, anything can happen here. You really don't sometimes see past 8 points, and you actually don't want a chance. If you get yourself in that position, you're buried really. But signs that he sort of got his cueing going in the start of that last frame, but his positional play wasn't good enough to sustain it. So, you know, perhaps it'll give him a bit more of a boost for this frame.
Well, he's been so proud to represent Cyprus here. He actually grew up in London, but with strong Cypriot roots, and chose to represent Cyprus a couple of seasons back. He's been proudly doing so, and has real ambition to try and grow the game and the island, to try and really inspire others to play it. He's done brilliantly after 10 years of trying. 5 different qualifying attempts to get to the Crucible. Here he is, and I'm sure everybody with Cypriot roots is cheering him on.
1.
Yes, I'm sure they are. He is, and Neil Robertson, meanwhile, just flicks the opening red and cannon on the brown. It's not a sitter, but not a lot to do with the cue ball. Knocks this in. Another chance.
Six.
If he's straight on the pink, it all depends. That red, just as we look now, just to the right of the black, it's obviously available into either corner. Now, whether that's holding the black spot or not, I don't know. But he's playing for it, and that will clear the black. Plenty of room around it.
Please, Neil.
Olivia Martial just asking for a moment, so obviously there's no spot, so he's going to have to place it in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. Not touching any ball.
12.
Let's just see the way Neil goes about this now. I think he just shaped up 13. There. I think he looked at the shape of the pack. He's got 2 more reds to play with. They're definitely better going in from blue rather than going into them from the black. So probably play for a nice low black off this, and may try and raid the orchard this time.
21.
Not the absolute perfect angle. It'd be difficult to get those reds moving. Yeah, see, he's topping it through. His plan here is top side of the blue off the next one.
And
he's brilliant at this shot. Watch the strike, top side of the blue. Oh, he didn't quite get hold of it. just got the tiniest of angles on the blue. Can he force it with up at the left-hand side? Yeah, too straight for comfort. Change of plan.
Sorry. Robertson, 29.
It's never been any different. It's unbelievable.
Settle down, please. Thank you.
It never rains, but it pours. What a chain of events that was.
If someone had said to you when he was teeing up the brown, he's going to miss this and snooker him behind the brown, you'd have taken leave of his senses.
Yeah. This is the only way he can go, really, because if he just go off the side cushion, he may leave a red. Is it going to be it's not the right line, I don't think.
Is it a free ball? There's a question.
Oh, and a miss. Near Robertson, 4.
I'll tell you what, it's worth a look.
Yeah.
I think this might be close.
Checking this one. Free ball.
Free ball call, well. So this black counts as a red.
One.
Yeah, that little plan's going to
8.
come to fruition again here. Can he get top side of the blue this time?
9.
Yes, he can. That is just about fine. Just catch the left half of the apex red. Beautiful. Played it lovely. As the red stopped in time, you see he just catches the left
14.
half of it. That was the plan. Unlucky if he's not on one. I think at some stage, and it might even already happen by now, that Neil Robertson will feel some kind of sympathy for his opponent, but not yet. He's still working, still grafting. Where's the best safety shot? Where can I put my opponent under pressure? 7-0 up, 47 in front. And he's still trying to press home the advantage.
Robertson, 14.
Well, you just feel now, with Neil Robertson being 47 points in front, that Michael Georgiou has got to get the next chance. He's got to win this safety battle. Got to be careful here. If he's playing across door, he doesn't get a double kiss. He decides to just play the containing safety. Got a good cue ball. It's opened the reds. Probably intentional.
That's a clever little shot that by Neil. What he's trying to do here is trying to entice Michael to drop the cue ball down this end and leave Neil a possible red to the middle. He's not doing that. He's got to find the gap on the way back to baulk with this. Yeah, that was tough. The little trap that Neil set, I think, just, he played it beautifully. There was two good things about it. You push to this cushion and leave me a red in the middle, a shot to nothing. Or you try to find the gap with a return to baulk and you have to play a good shot. Well, he hasn't, and Neil's got a half chance. Great piece of thinking. Red goes in, should win the frame.
One.
Straightish on the blue, but, well, I say it's okay, but what can he get to? The red closest to the right corner pocket is more or less covered by the red and the pink. Well, he's down pretty quick playing it, so he must have seen a shot he can play. Obviously the red that's to the left of the black will go to the corner.
6.
There you see it. And of course, if he pots it, he'll have the black to the right middle.
Seven.
For all he's won every frame, I still don't think he's got the pace of the table, particularly when he's using a cushion.
Yeah, I think Neil just gestured there. He doesn't want to show anything out, show out to his opponent, but I think he felt he had quite a firm bounce that time. Just about held for the red. So back in decent position. But yeah, he's lost the cue ball a few times.
14.
61 in front then.
200 balls against his opponent's 25. If he starts complaining, off a steward's inquiry. And that should be the frame winner. Red in a colour. Well, just the red will put him in the snookers required.
21.
You've got to feel for him, obviously. It's not nice. Obviously, a lot better player than he's shown the Crucible crowd this afternoon, but
26.
that's it. As the guys in the studio said,
27.
this can happen at the Crucible Theatre.
Yeah, being a snooker player can be a nice life in some ways, but it can be very tough on occasion. This is one of them. In actual fact, a bit like saying it, Michael Georgiou actually lost in the World Championship last season 10-0 to Mark Davis. So it does happen. As we know, it's happened once here before. JP beating Steady Eddie Charlton. That was actually on this very table. 1992.
Thank you. 33.
Yeah, it's not really been a contest, has it? It's just been a...
39.
So Neil Robertson won't mind. I mean, it's 17 days
40.
of this, so, you know, if you can win with only having to play a couple of frames in the second session, you don't have to burn off that
47.
nervous energy, so he'll be well pleased to have this result.
54. 55.
Just one more frame to play after this.
58.
It's a good point that John makes about the saving
60.
nervous energy. You know, Neil, win this session either 8-1 or 9-0, you think, well, obviously he's going to be in the next round. They will come back tomorrow evening, but it does mean that for the next 24 hours or so he can sort of relax and just
63.
practice for half an hour or an hour. He knows he's going to be in the next round. It all helps.
67. 72. 78.
A smooth 85 then by the Australian.
And the frame.
And he moves further clear.
Neil Robertson.
Unfortunately for Michael Georgiou, it's now 8 frames to 0 to the big Australian.
It sure is a tough school, this Crucible, isn't it? Georgiou 8-0 down. They've got one more frame to play in this session. Now, coverage continues over on the red button. Also online is the opening session between Ding and Anthony McGill. Ding's just made a century. He's now going 5-3 in front, 5-2, I beg your pardon, in front of Anthony McGill. And then this evening, our live coverage continues 7 o'clock. On the red button, you've got Martin Williams, 6-3 up on Martin Gould. They'll finish off. And Stephen Maguire against Tian Pengfei online as well. Tonight, Seema Jaswell with you for all of today's highlights, 5 to midnight. But thanks to Stephen, John, our 154 hours of coverage from Sheffield over 17 days is well underway in the quest to lift the trophy.